Calaroga Shark Media.
A remarkable connection between baseball history and papal leadership created a special moment during the Chicago White Sox's 20th anniversary celebration of their 2005 World Series championship. Former White Sox star Paul Konerko received an extraordinary gift that highlighted the unique bond between Chicago's beloved team and its most famous fan. Cardinal Blase Kupich, who serves as the Archbishop of Chicago, presented Konerko with a jersey which displayed Konerko's surname, along with Pope Leo, positioned above the number 14, symbolizing the shared numerical connection between the baseball legend and the leader of the Catholic Church. Konerko, who earned 6 All-Star selections during his career, expressed amazement at receiving such an unusual and meaningful gift. He described the experience as surreal and joked that his mother would likely claim the jersey for herself once she learned about it. The future Pope's connection to the team's historic championship run was particularly significant. During the 2005 World Series opener against Houston, Prevost was actually in attendance at the ballpark. He occupied section 140, row 19, seat 2, watching as the White Sox defeated the Astros 5-3 in what would become the opening game of a 4-game sweep. Konerko's response to receiving the papal gift showed both humility and humor. He mentioned plans to reciprocate by signing a jersey to send to Pope Leo, though he doubted the pontiff would be as excited to receive his signature as he was to receive the papal autograph. When Pope Leo celebrated his inaugural Mass for environmental stewardship on July 9th, the beautiful green vestments he wore for this special liturgy came from an unexpected but meaningful source, his hometown of Chicago. The House of Hanson, a liturgical goods company that has been serving clergy since 1908, created the stunning vestments worn by Pope Leo and his concelebrants during this historic celebration. Pope Leo wore a magnificent deep green brocade chasuble that perfectly matched the liturgical color requirements. The vestment featured intricate golden brocade orphrey, which is the vertical band running along the front of the garment. This was beautifully bordered by green and gold knotted embroidery patterns and topped with a circular yoke. Gerard Ahrens, who owns and operates the House of Hanson alongside his wife Ellen, revealed that he already possessed Pope Leo's measurements from previous work. The pontiff had been a customer during his time as a bishop, particularly when he served in Peru. Ahrens recalled a particularly memorable encounter from about a year and a half earlier when the future pope visited his store. During that visit, which lasted approximately 30 minutes, the then Archbishop mentioned his upcoming appointment to Rome as a cardinal. He spoke about having a position there, though he was modest about the significance of the role. The recent Vatican order required quick turnaround time, which presented both challenges and opportunities for the Chicago-based company. The original design had to receive Vatican approval before production could begin, adding an extra layer of complexity to the process. A dedicated team of approximately 10 seamstresses and tailors worked on site to assemble the vestments, all of whom were excited to be creating garments for the pontiff. The fabric chosen was an ecclesiastical damask by the brand Da Vinci, which featured subtle crosses surrounded by what resembled crown of thorns patterns. Upon completion, the vestments were personally couriered to the Vatican by a priest, ensuring their safe and respectful delivery. As Ahrens humorously noted, this was not a job for standard shipping services. The House of Hanson has a distinguished history of serving prominent Catholic leaders. They have provided vestments for the late Chicago Cardinal Francis George and continue to serve current customers, including Chicago Cardinal Blase Kupich and New York Cardinal Timothy Dolan. Interestingly, Ahrens revealed that he had received only one previous order for papal vestments, which came from a film production company. That order was for a movie that ultimately went straight to video, though he remembered the vestments looked impressive on screen.
What if everything you've been taught about happiness is wrong? We chase careers, approval, more stuff, hoping it'll finally make us feel fulfilled, but it never sticks. What if happiness isn't out there, but already inside you, just waiting to be unlocked? Discover the book, The Happiness Experiment. Every person has a unique happiness type, and when you understand yours, everything shifts. You'll stop chasing and start creating joy on your own terms. Discover your happiness type with a free happiness type assessment. Go to myhappinesstype.com. That's myhappinesstype.com. It takes just a minute and it might change your life. Then grab your copy of The Happiness Experiment at Books A Million. This isn't just a book, it's a practical framework, a journey inward. It's a tool to help you reconnect with the happiness that's been waiting inside you all along. Pick up The Happiness Experiment and start your happiness experiment today.
A significant moment in papal tradition unfolded on Sunday when Pope Leo led the Angelus prayer from Castel Gandolfo for the first time in 12 years. The Angelus prayer took place on a warm but overcast day, marking the halfway point of Pope Leo's 2-week summer retreat at the Pontifical Estate. In his message before leading the Marian prayer, Pope Leo focused on the profound concept of eternal life as an inheritance rather than something to be earned through force or negotiation. He emphasized that eternal life, which only God can bestow, comes to us as a gift from a loving parent to their children. The pontiff explained that receiving this divine gift requires following God's will, specifically referencing the fundamental commandments to love God with all one's heart and to love one's neighbor as oneself. He stressed that fulfilling these two essential requirements represents our response to the Father's love. Among the gathered faithful were touching personal stories of pilgrimage and devotion. One American couple, celebrating their 10th wedding anniversary, had traveled to Castel Gandolfo, specifically hoping to receive the Pope's blessing. They expressed joy at receiving a wave from Pope Leo during his walk from the local parish to the Apostolic Palace before the Angelus. Before delivering the Angelus, Pope Leo celebrated Mass for local Catholics, religious leaders, and civil authorities at the 17th century pontifical parish of St. Thomas of Villanova, located in Castel Gandolfo's Liberty Square. During the Mass, the pontiff reflected on the parable of the Good Samaritan, using this powerful biblical story to call for what he termed a revolution of love. He spoke passionately about caring for those who have been wounded by life's circumstances, describing them as people who have been stripped, robbed, and pillaged by various forms of systemic oppression. Pope Leo specifically mentioned victims of tyrannical political systems, economic structures that force people into poverty, and wars that destroy both dreams and lives. His message emphasized the urgent need for compassionate action toward all who suffer, regardless of their background or circumstances. The pontiff challenged his listeners to examine their own attitudes toward neighborly love, asking whether they sometimes content themselves with merely fulfilling basic duties or limiting their care to those who share their nationality, religion, or worldview. He pointed out how Jesus revolutionized this narrow thinking by presenting a Samaritan, considered a foreigner and heretic by many, as the true example of neighborly love. Looking ahead, Pope Leo announced that he will lead the Angelus again on July 20th, before returning to the Vatican for various Jubilee of Hope events, including special celebrations for Catholic influencers and youth. The Pope also plans to return to Castel Gandolfo for 3 days during the Italian holiday weekend of Ferragosto, August 15th through 17th, which celebrates the feast of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary.
From the creators of Palace Intrigue, a new chapter in royal history begins. William and Kate's wedding captures the world's attention, but royal life isn't as perfect as it seems. Tensions rise as Harry meets Meghan, sparking a divide that will shake the monarchy to its core. From explosive interviews to family scandals, the royal family faces its most public challenges ever. As King Charles takes the throne, the future of the monarchy hangs in the balance. Family secrets, royal rifts, and the future of the crown. Crown and Controversy, wherever you get your podcasts.
There's always something brewing behind palace walls, whether it's Prince Harry and Meghan Markle making headlines from afar, or Prince William and Princess Catherine quietly preparing for the future throne. I'm Mark Francis, and on Palace Intrigue, we cover every twist, turn, whisper, and wink. From royal drama to daily gossip, follow Palace Intrigue wherever you get your podcasts.
You know the silhouette, the squint, the voice that cuts like a blade. Clint Eastwood isn't just a movie star. He's a myth, a mayor, a cultural fault line, and maybe the last great American icon. Eastwood Reloaded tells his story one chapter at a time. The hits, the flops, the chaos between the scenes. Because legends aren't born, they're built. Eastwood Reloaded. Listen now wherever you get your podcasts.